It's July here in South Florida. Those thunderstorms are rolling in daily. Let's talk about lightning. Maz Ocean does a lot of lightning strike remediation projects. It's quite a challenging process. So what we like to use is a special survey spreadsheet. So when we get that phone call from a boat owner that his boat has taken a lightning strike, sometimes it's direct, sometimes it's a proximity strike. We set up a service call, go out to the boat, and we send out one of our technicians to the boat, and we go out and we start to survey the boat. If something tests good, we give it a green indication that it's fine. If something has tested bad, in this example over here, we have the generator would not start on this specific boat. We'd give it a red mark. We give a location for the equipment, so technicians going back to the boat in the future to replace failed equipment know where to look and don't have to find it again. We also notate the specific model information for that piece of equipment that has failed, the quantity of them and how many of them have specifically failed. There's also the opportunity here to go in and add some photos in terms of the equipment that we're specifically talking about, and there is the ability to add comments. So maybe I'm on board, I did the initial survey, I determined that this battery charger is bad. We got to do some further testing. So next guy, Irvin, is on the boat. He's now doing further testing into why the chargers aren't working. Could it be a blown fuse? Sure. Is it actually a failed piece of equipment? Possibly. So he now dives in and he can add comments to the specific job as well. So for example, I made a comment here, starboard unit is functional. The other two are powered off, basically denotating that two of them had failed, one of them was still functional. So ultimately, you take a lightning strike, you're going to contact your insurance company. Most insurance companies are going to send out a surveyor. He's going to come out to the boat and want to go through the boat and confirm what equipment has failed. By having this spreadsheet completed and ready, it really makes that process a lot more simple. Recently, we had a Fontaine Peugeot 42 that took a lightning strike. Surveyor got on board. Immediately he's like, this is probably going to take a day to do the survey. He hadn't worked with Maz Ocean before. I pulled out my spreadsheet and had already done the survey on the boat and provided him with a copy of the spreadsheet, a link to the spreadsheet, and he basically then completed his survey in under 2 hours. Basically, it simplified the process for the insurance surveyor, giving him information that was critical to determine what equipment had failed. I was able to confirm the testing procedure that we used for that, and it just expedited that whole survey procedure. This then gives us the opportunity to record that we have created an estimate for failed equipment, what the estimate number is. We also have columns that are currently hidden once we start to go through the actual repair and replacement process of when the equipment was replaced. Was it tested? Was it confirmed operational? And all of that type of information as well. It often is a multi-stage procedure, and it's not a once-off survey. Yes, this is all the equipment that's failed, we replace it and the boat's fixed. Often there's going to be multiple phases. Initial phase, get the majority of stuff fixed. Then you're going to find additional equipment that may have failed because you had to replace original equipment first. And then normally there's often a third round for kind of just loose ends that pop up after sea trials and maybe the surveyor from insurance coming back and just testing the final bunch of equipment. Some insurance companies do require installation of lightning arresters, which is a device that gets installed on the top of the mast. It almost has like a little fan at the top, and a big thick wire gets run down the mast and gets attached to a bonding plate on the bottom of the boat. So that is one option. Some insurance companies require that to be installed. There's various opinions about how effective that is, and to be honest, the reality, in my opinion, honest opinion, is there's nothing out there at the moment that can truly prevent a boat from being struck by lightning and truly prevent damage from a lightning strike. The most susceptible equipment on boats when it comes to lightning is anything with a circuit board in it. Navigation equipment is a good example of that. Most navigation equipment has some kind of circuit board inside of it. And often people won't even be on board a vessel when it gets struck by lightning, and one of the ways they will suddenly start to realize that something has happened is they'll get on board and the navigation equipment will be behaving strangely. There may not be any data available, you've lost your depth, you've lost your wind information, because from my experience, one of the most sensitive aspects of navigation equipment is the CAN bus side of things, which is your generally NMEA 2000 or C-Talk NG side of things. Those CAN ports on navigation equipment are extremely sensitive to lightning. So one of the first clear signs of a lightning strike is loss of data on your navigation equipment. If you take a lightning strike, I would shut down pretty much everything on the boat. Kill all your breakers, and then slowly, one by one, turn things on, check if they're working, check if they're functioning, see, you never know. I've seen certain situations just with a recent lightning strike that, you turn something on, this was a bilge pump system specifically, turn on the breaker and the bilge pump kicked on and started running when it shouldn't be, and it just kept running and running, and eventually the actual component controlling the bilge pump started to smoke and almost caught on fire. So, I think best practice is shut everything off on the boat, slowly go through each item one by one, specifically check the piece of equipment, make sure it's operating correctly, that there's no heat or any signs of smoke or anything catching on fire. Just be thorough and methodical about the process of slowly turning things on. Lightning is a bit of a strange creature in terms of how you see it affect equipment. Sometimes it's straight up piece of equipment's completely failed, won't turn on, non-functional. In other situations, equipment may appear to be working perfectly fine. And once again, if it's got a circuit board in it, it's probably taken some kind of effect from the lightning, and it may work for a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, but I've seen on many occasions boats come in, we replace everything that was obviously damaged during lightning. A couple months later, we're getting a phone call and say the one chart plotter appeared to be perfectly fine after the lightning strike has now failed a couple months later. Just because it works right now doesn't mean it's going to work in 2 weeks' time. Lightning is an interesting creature when it comes to that. Maz Ocean has been doing this for a long time. We have a very specific process to deal with lightning strikes. So if you are unfortunate and do sustain a lightning strike and need a company to come out and take a look at your vessel and do a survey, figure out what all is damaged, assist with the process in terms of dealing with insurance, meeting with insurance surveyors, and making it as easy as possible to get through a pretty bad situation. Maz Ocean are ready and available to come out, take a look, help you out, and get you back on the water as quickly as possible.